We're live. I see somebody. Hi, Rick. Anyways, we are here live kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I'm really excited to do my weekly update on our Mustang Luna. And so this little beginning bit is our sound check and all that kind of stuff. So give me a thumbs up if we got sound. Then I'll know to bring the camera over to where we're gonna do our content. I'm not used to you guys being so tall. So I have the tripod set up for where I want to put it today. But it makes you really tall. So I'm waiting for a thumbs up and I will go over. I'm good. Anyway, I'm assuming we have sound. We'll check the chat. So we're gonna move over to the horse. Okay, here she is. We got all this commotion at this moment at the farm. I don't know what's going on, but here we are. Okay, she goes in there, she's snarf snarf. Now I'm gonna come in there with her, and it's a little windy day, so we'll get this content going. So I got my windproof mic on, and I checked this little angle out earlier, and I think it worked out pretty good. Anyway, I don't know if we have sound still. Nobody told me if we have sound, but we're gonna go ahead and go for it. If I don't have sound this whole time, we'll do it again, I guess, some other time. Anyway, hi, I am the trainer, Monica Kraus, for Extreme Mustang Makeover Los Angeles this year. And we had Mustang Luna since, what day was it? July 17th. And I just want to tell you a little bit about my week this week. This is our week 2. Hey, Arizona. How you doing? All right, so looks like we got some people. Horses are a little rowdy back there. I call that the peanut gallery. It is close to dinner time. And so anyway, here we are. We are in California, Central Coast, California. And this week was like forward, backward feeling with Luna. But she's like, no, it's not. We're going at Luna pace. So we've done lots of stuff this week. I can't remember where we left off on week 1, but I could tell you where we started going forward. And so we did a learning how to be tied to the fence lesson for a couple days. She did really good with that. And we done lots of, lunging and stuff. She got to run with the other girls in the corral. So I have 2 more Mustangs back there. I think you see one. That's Mustang Sally. She's really friendly with Mustang Sally, so that was really good. And I'm trying to remember because I didn't have enough time to make notes. So, but it's like we did lots of stuff, but what I most remember is the last 3 days, because we really took a step downward from doing all this stuff. So I think we got to part where she's able to tie on the fence. She does really good. She'll hang out there all day. Then we round pin her. She does nice inside turns and goes around the other direction. She especially does well with her friend because she follows her friend really good and does really great stops and all these kinds of things. So we got all that down. What we didn't have down was her comfort level near me. She's just like, oh my gosh, what are you doing all this time, all the time with all this pressure? So it's just like getting her to do things and do all this stuff. And we also got her to learn the back up so she knows how to back up. And we got to the point where I can just wiggle some fingers and she's backing up without lead lines and stuff. So we got to all of that, but we just didn't have a good vibe between us because I think it was just too much. So the last 3 days was completely taking a step back, and we went back to day 1, which was matching So I'm going to back up even more for you guys. So day one, I was doing the Warwick, I never say it right, it's like a tongue twister for me, Warwick Schiller, his horsemanship idea of matching steps. And so I was taking his idea a step further and calling it matching movements. And so if she would, she's actually, I think she's smiling back there, but if she would take a step, I would take a step and try to do it exactly the same time as she does. So basically I become a mirror, and my job was to become very, very attractive to her because I was being very much a repellent to her. She's just like, oh my gosh, you're getting in my space, and then you're doing this go in and get out, go in and get out, you know, the usual advance and retreat technique. But it was just too much for her. She's like, ah. And so, but she's a very good girl. She's, you know, without the, oh my gosh, I'm a Mustang or a human thing. She learns really quick. She learns really good. I'm really pleased with her. So it was a lot of fun playing with Warwick Schiller's matching steps. And I call this my opportunity horse. You know, I don't get very many Mustang to train. I have a lot of one a year I do. And so it's really nice to just have an opportunity. She's still, you know, like, don't put your hands on me stage. I can touch her face. I got to the point where I was putting her halter on and off, and I changed out her halter because I think we had the other one on last week. But she's still a little bit jumpy to get in there with some scissors and cut that tag off her neck. So she still has her number on her neck. But I really just wanted to come down to basic and just make me really attractive and just to chill out. So we've been chilling out for, this would be our third day. So this is our third day just matching movements as I progressed his matching, Warwick Schiller's matching steps. So, which is total changed horse. Totally changed horse. Just 3 days of that, where we can kind of come in there and touch, and she does little lick and chews. So what I mean by matching movements is that if she took a step back, I'd take a step back. Like away. She took a step forward, I'd take a step forward, or whatever. So I would either mirror her like as if you're looking in the mirror. So if she looked this way, we would kind of look that way together, or we'd look this way together, or we'd smack our lips this way. So it's just kind of interesting giving her a voice like that, letting her know I'm paying attention to every little thing that she's doing. If she stomped, I'd stomp and shake my head. And it was just very interesting to work with her on that level and just witness it as well as doing it, how it helped her find a comfort zone around me, a scary human. So I thought that was interesting. And then I played with the other kind of mirror. So if we got side by side kind of things, so if she would turn her head that way, I would turn my head with her. And if she turned her head this way, I would turn my head this way. If she were to go away, I'd start going away. And she's like, whoop, I don't want you after me. So then she'd turn towards me and I'd turn away. And then at that point, she starts following. So anyway, just a lot of fun playing with that technique out there with her. And she's dirty on one side. I kind of wet the area in here and keep that dust down. But when I came back after getting the thumbnail set up, she's dirty on one side. But I think that's about our progress. So I think it's come a long way, because I think it was the first day. So we play little games in the corner. So she's eating her food, we give her cubes. So she eats hay cubes. And I like to play a game, where I give her the cube, because it kind of makes me attractive. If I can give her food where she can come gravitate towards me, we can just hang out, and she's smacking her lips and making all this foam, making the dopamine and all kinds of stuff. So, and then I ended up playing a little game with her where I would have one cube, but I put both of my hands out like this, and she'd have to guess which one. So it was kind of fun, because she knew, she would kind of do a little fist bump and go, it wasn't in there. And then she'd go to the other hand and go, okay, it's there. So we're just having fun with that kind of stuff. Just basically building a communication without so many methods and applying things necessarily. So we just kind of stepped back, hung out, and kind of had fun at ground zero again, even though we did do a lot of accomplishment, and there's no doubt we can get there. I just really want her to feel relaxed and chill, so that way when I get to hands on her, because I was touching her neck and down her side and down her leg, but she was like this super stiff and neck up. I'm like, we can't have that. We can't have you just tolerating it. We have to have you just, you gotta be okay. So anyway, we've been working on a lot of her relaxation, and I figured the magic number would be 3. So this is our 3rd day doing that, and I just had to be patient with myself and really work hard on retreating my desire to advance and get somewhere, because this is a 100-day competition and I really want to get something done. But it was really a lot of work to just really hold back myself in all my things that I do with training horses and just helping her find relaxation. I think that's all I could say about that. But it's really worked. So even though it feels like it's very slow going, but I know taking the time to go really slow right now with this will just get it to be jump start more. So we did do a lot of stuff, and we do stuff every day, so there's no days wasted for sure. So really week 2 is a full week of whatever it is, even if it's just hanging out or feeding the cubes or whatever. I could definitely put the lead on her. I could take the halter off and get it back on her. But I really want her to choose to be near me and feel like that's okay. Do you see her dirty side? Mm-hmm. she had dirt ball. Anyway, I saw some comments. Let me check for some comments here real quick. I know you're really tall, so I got the okay, let me scroll back up here. I see Arizona. Hey, Arizona. She's shaking her head in agreement. Hey, Randy Rick. Yes, it's live. Hey, Robin Eagle Song. You're so glad to be here. I'm glad you're here. Yay. You're blown away. I get blown away too sometimes. Let's see. Oh, I missed a thing. Okay, so yesterday we worked on her going over the tarp. And so she was in the round pen over there, and she really wanted to come back in her stall, which I used to our advantage. And so I put a little 4 feet by 6 foot tarp at her gate, and I was like, all right, let's just play go. Whoa, the wind's so strong, it's like blowing you guys over. Anyway, we were playing, just sending her through the threshold and stuff. So she did that really well. It wasn't too hard to send her through, and she kind of had to hop over it or kind of skirt around it, and then eventually she just went over it both directions, like very calm. So at first, of course, she's like, yeehaw, flying over it, but then she got very calm over it, and I think she's still learning about the tarp, and the wind today isn't helping with tarp lessons. It's still too new. It can't be flying up at her yet. So we're just taking it slow, and I think that's going to help her in the long run, and I'm just spending all the time I can with her, so she does get a lot of me around. Hi, Luna. She just looked and chewed. She's like, I mean, okay, so the progress was, I think first, it was like, there was like week 1 where it was like just a few days into it, and we had a Wednesday, and so I think she was in there, but like still on the other side. But I think I'll just do like a little stuff with her, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about when I mirror. So I just turned and looked at her, and she was like popping her head up, and she's already snorting. So if I wasn't doing live, I would have just mimicked all of those things. So like if she reaches down to scratch, I'll just like bob my head. She kind of did a little lean towards me. I'm talking instead of smacking my lips like she just did. And so I play with different directions and things with her. And it's basically just to watch her and let her know that I know what she's doing by kind of copying her. And it really makes a connection. So I'm just going to walk around and see if what, you know, because that creates movement. So I'm going to walk around. So she's going to figure out how to turn towards me and keep attention on me. Good girl. Snarf. And so if I walk away, it gives her an opportunity to walk towards me. Good. Good. Now there's not too much space in this little pen, so we kind of get close over here. Good girl. So she's licking and chewing. Nom, nom, nom. I just want to get by over here. And she just keeps attention on me. Yay. And we can do the moonwalk together. That's fine, Luna. Are we still on the screen? I think so. I've put you guys in a pretty good corner. So she turns away, she looks at me. And also what I've noticed is when she turns away her head and looks at me, if I walk away at that moment, it kind of creates a draw towards me. But I do it with her. So right now we're in the opposition position, so I would be mirroring her like as if we're looking in the mirror at each other. She's like starting to relax and quiver her lip. And the reason I don't do too much of this on live is because it really looks a lot like not much. So there's nothing really I'm making happen here at all. I'm just paying attention to her and being Luna. And the idea, as I do it, I think about things like she has to feel less threat of me if I am her. Just silly things like this. And the idea is I really want her to feel safe. And I have a past mentor who would say, the hardest thing to do with a horse is nothing. And these past days, let me tell you, it's been really hard to kind of go at this level where it's almost nothing. Snarf. So it's interesting, you have the position to kind of see how it looks when we look in the mirror. And I just stick my hand out like as if it's two horses sticking their noses together. And I just think like, well, maybe this makes sense to her. Not much to do. When I used to stomp with her, she would run across the other side of the pen. So now she's like, oh, okay. You're just copying me. We've seen this before. And sometimes, not a lot, just a couple times, I think that she tried something just to see if I would copy her. So we're building a relationship because we got to get down to ground zero, just have that relationship, and then we can work on the quote unquote training, but we rather say teaching. So I don't know if this is necessarily a teaching moment as much as it is just hang out, get to know one another moments, and be okay. So once we're okay with each other, then the teaching can happen, because then there's less the fear. And she's resting a foot, but her head's kind of looking around. Oh, that one surprised me. I looked with her, and then she decided to come in. Now, of course, the idea is to hang out close, right? Because it's easy to hang out far. That's easy, right? But to be close to this predator, that's hard. And even when I would, my hair blows on my face, I would pick up my hand to scratch my face. That would kind of worry her too. Now she just goes, oh, okay. Now I definitely could go in there, grab that halter, put a rope on her, and lead her around and do a ton of stuff. I'm not worried about that. So I just really want her to have a voice, and that's what these last 3 days were about. So I can't tell you too much about the after the previous Wednesday, because we go live California time, so Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 on Wednesdays. And so that's our live time to be here with updates, which is pretty cool, because then we can kind of see how we progress throughout these 100 days, which will be interesting in itself. And there's a lot of self-work I had to go through for myself, because, you know, I'm competitive. I like to get the job done. I like to have a riding horse and, you know, be able to do the maneuvers and stuff at the end of the competition. But right now it just feels like, well, we're just getting to know each other. We got a lot of stuff to do. When others may be putting saddles on, or even going down the road for a ride. Who knows? I don't know what my friends are doing with their Mustangs. But we're just focusing on ourselves. That's funny. So that was new. She just kind of, just like a horse, like I was saying, it was just like a horse coming in for the little nose touch thing. And what happens when horses do the nose touch is one horse does the upper lip thing, and whoever does the upper lip is kind of I don't want to say dominant, but kind of the dominant horse. So she kind of just did the little lip thing to me. So now she's so confident, I'm just going to tickle her nose before she tickles my hand with her nose. Snarf. Now she's a horse that just doesn't want to be anywhere near my space, so I'm really working on my attraction with her. I think I was saying something about self-work, but I got distracted by that. Now I just went in there without her doing anything, because that's my thing. I want to make something happen, but it's really hard to not go in there and try to create an outcome. But yeah, because I did, yeah. Boop. Now she's kind of doing the little thing, so I just tickled the top of her nostril a little bit. She's like, and I'm being distracted talking and trying to share my story where I missed her little head turn there. Because we've been working really good at, I've been working really good at being her mirror. She's like, wait a minute, your timing's off, lady. And she's doing lots of lick and chews, lick and chews. So if you're not familiar with what the lick and chew means, it means the horse is coming into relaxation, and it is a delayed response to a dopamine release. And I think I have it too sometimes. I think I get those releases because I realize there's saliva happening too sometimes. Do you guys ever get that? When you work with your horses or any other circumstance where you're like a little bit upregulated and then you come into downregulation. So I think we're hanging out pretty close, and she's like not snorty or anything, but her head is kind of up in a learning state. It's not super relaxed. It's just kind of, it's like aware. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm out of here. It's not like I'm really chill. It's just kind of, it's like an interaction kind of head up, kind of. She's wondering why I'm talking now. What does this mean? And I wonder, because I'm like folding my hands for some reason. Maybe it's like part of my me deep breath, me relax. There we go. You're standing nice and square. We'll both look at the trucks over there. Back to center. Okay, see there's trucks in the background moving. No, she was paying attention to the trucks going by. All of a sudden I came into her attention again, and then there was a little snarf and then a little downregulated lick and chew. A lot of stuff that happened right there. Although it just looks like a horse and the lady standing together. Actually, a lot of stuff for Luna happened there. Now I wonder, I'm just going to add a little movement. And it's interesting because we can apply a lot of pressure, yank on a rope and all this kind of stuff. And then a lot of training methods would be yield those hips, yield those hips, yield the hip. That means hip moves over, hip moves over. But really, if you just get a connection, the hip will move over. It didn't move over, get the connection, because I was going to go in there. Well, she has to kind of want to leave. There we go. It's dinner time, so I notice she gets a little more. I wonder if they're a little more grumpy at dinner time. And those girls are like, yeah, we want dinner. So, you know, it's not a perfect science. It's just kind of hanging out and seeing what works between her and I. I might choose to mirror her. If she takes a step back, I'll take a step back. If she takes a step in, I'll take a step in. Or if she took a step back, maybe I would have taken a step forward forward towards her, kind of mirror. As if we're like a puppet and string attached to each other. So I'm just kind of messing around with what that means and how that affects her. And it's also been a big challenge to take a lot of my big goals out of the last few days. So it's fine, she feels safe there. Now I definitely could help her out. I could definitely progress things a lot faster, kinda. I mean, with traditional methods by putting that rope on her, doing all this stuff, but letting her step back and feel good over there, I think is going a long way. So, anyways, I'm gonna check on chat. I'm gonna check on you guys. See if we're still here. If you got any questions. I learned how to check on chat while, here we are. Where are we at? Hello, Coffee and Crate. Wowzers, Luna's so cute and smart. Yep. Robin Eagle sounds completely fascinated with this process. Well, I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad to share with everyone. Arizona agrees. Coffee Crate smiling. You forgot. Oh, you forgot we're live, but always watch later. You're live today, Coffee and Crate. Yeah, you got to come out sometime and see Luna. So Luna will be for adoption at the end of the 100 days. So this is also another reason why I'm doing these updates. So if anybody's interested in her, you know, however far we get in the 100 days, I think it's going to be good. You know, whether we're galloping down the trail on the beach or not, I think anywhere we get down the road is going to be good in her future with another person. So that's me letting go of the outcome and just having fun along the journey and fun sharing with you guys. And I'm so delighted you're all here. And if you're watching the replay, I am so glad you are and you found me. And you found Luna, most of all, because it's about getting her a lovely home and a good chance in the human world. So, good opportunity for me to work on horsemanship. I wouldn't normally get to try because my other horses wouldn't need this kind of work, but doesn't hurt. So it's been really cool. So let me check on comments again real quick. Hi, Iggy Mom. You wish? What do you wish? You just have to wish and come out and see Miss Luna. So anyway, if you haven't already, please like, thumbs up the video, and subscribe. I think it's over here. Subscribe and bell icon so you get the notifications. If you forgot when we go live, you'll be notified, and all that kind of stuff. And we do go live California time, Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 p.m. And we'll be doing our updates on Luna as we go. So, yay! I think I said all the things. Oh, you wish you could buy Luna. Yes, so, yep, just put a good word out there for her. She's in California on the Central Coast. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I'll answer some if you got any questions right now. If not, put the questions in the comments below and share this out because more people need to see Luna, and Luna is kind of the star, and she's so beautiful, and she doesn't know she's talented yet, but she's a smart girl. I have high hopes for her. Yes, and we'll see you later. So anyways, thank you for tuning in on our weekly Luna update for the Los Angeles Extreme Mustang Makeover 2020. Bye. Luna says bye.